Hey everybody, it's Deanna, and I'm here with the last health updates of 2025. My goodness, people, my goodness. So my previous primary care doctor, before she ended up moving out of town, had put in a ticket for me to have my A1C done. And I had it done earlier this month. And I was nervous because I had, this was a few days after Thanksgiving, and I had strayed from my diet a little. And even though my family was saying, oh, you can eat some of that, you can eat some of this, you'll be okay, you'll be okay. I put my foot down, I ate what I felt comfortable eating. So I put as many vegetables on my plate as possible, even though there were more meats and sweets. But I kept as close to my diet as possible, even though holiday food is not holiday food is not the most health conscious food. But I focused on what I could eat and stuck to that. So I had that done earlier this month. And I scheduled it an hour before I had to go to the log in from home because I was working from home that day. And the place is close to where I live. And it's also where my gynecologist is. So it was really quick. I was in and out there maybe no more than 5 minutes, very quick. And I tried once again to schedule an appointment with my gynecologist. This time she's on leave. She'll be back in February. We don't have an exact date, but she'll be back in February. And I've worked at front desk jobs before, and people ask me 50-11 questions I don't know the answer to, so I knew not to push. I'll get that appointment when I get that appointment. And I got that lab maybe about a week or so later. And good news. When I had my A1C done in September, it was 6.7, which is 6.5 or higher is diabetic. And when I had the lab work come back, 5.9. Whew! Wow. It's still high because the high level of normal is 5.6. So it's still high, but that's major progress, and I almost cried tears of joy. The new doctor has not reviewed the results. I guess she won't get back to me. I guess she won't discuss them with me until my appointment with her in February. But I'm so happy. Finally, some good health news. My goodness gracious. And I had to follow up with a neurosurgeon about my DVA, developmental venous anomaly, because she was concerned about the size. And getting that appointment was a pain in the butt, I swear to God. They gave me the neurologist, which is the same office as a neurosurgeon. They gave me the card for one neurosurgeon. I called, left a message. No one called me back. I called again. They answered this time. Then they told me that's not the right number to call. I need to call this number to schedule the appointment. Then I called that number, and they tell me that the neurosurgeon does not do those types of appointments. So I asked them, okay, well, if he's not available, can you find a female doctor, and can you have it at this location? And she had me on hold a few times. She didn't understand what I was getting at. She thought I was trying to schedule surgery. I said, no, I'm not trying to schedule surgery. I just want to see the neurosurgeon for a second opinion, as a neurologist said to do. And then she tried to schedule me to go somewhere in Manassas. Manassas? I said, that's far. Because I looked at the address. I said, that's far. Can I be seen at this location? And they found a female doctor at that location, which is the same location as where the neurologist is. So I go to that today. And I'm on break from work. And this did not feel like a day off from work. Work feels more relaxing than this. Oh man, I've been up since 8. I left out around 11:20. I got to the last bus stop at a few minutes to noon, walked over, Checked in 20 minutes early. There are a lot of people there. There are people sitting outside, 3 on a bench and 1 on the floor. Mm-mm-mm. And then after I checked in at the kiosk, I go in, and the family who was sitting outside comes in. Oh my God. Excuse me, my ears itching. Oh God. I could cut this out, but I'm not going to. Yeah, that's another thing. My ears have been itchy. I did mention it to my previous primary care doctor. She told me to use can't remember the name. I got it. I can't remember the name right now. I have to look it up, and I'll add it either on screen or in the description. But nothing seems to work. My ears have been really dry and itchy since 2020, and I got tested for the 5-letter word because of C. Tested negative. I mean, this is way back when, in 2020. Tested negative, but I don't know what's causing my ear issues because my ears have been really dry since 2020. And some people say it's perimenopause, and others say, who knows? Anyway, I'm digressing. So anyway, the family comes in, and well, no, first the guy comes in. He checks in the kiosk. Then he sits down. The rest of the family comes in, and the girlfriend. Oh my God, she's ridiculous. The girlfriend was sitting on the floor, and she was leaning out here like this, feet kicked up in the chair. How old are these kids? How old are you? I mean, the guy looks like he was in his 20s. I mean, she probably was in her 20s too. They're acting like they're at the prom or something. And he had his phone loud for a moment. I looked at him like this. He lowered the volume on the phone. No, you're not going to be loud and obnoxious. The nurse calls me by my full name. So much for privacy. Lord have mercy. She got my name right though, surprisingly. And she calls me back, called me back, and I follow her back. And she says, do you have any pain? I said, no. Mrs. Howard, can you tell me your height? Ms. Howard, 5'4". Do you have any pain? I had to fight there just to say you asked me that already. I know I've been having memory issues, but not that bad, folks. I can tell these people are overworked. I swear. Then she said, do you have a clipboard? I said, no. They're supposed to give you a clipboard or paper or something. No, not more paperwork. I thought I had everything online. So she goes. Then the nurse practitioner comes in. She introduces herself, and then she said the doctor would see me. Oh, prior to this, while I was in the waiting area, I heard someone come in, and they said that they needed the doctor I was seeing to sign off on some order or something. Oh God, they better not delay my appointment. Oh Lord. But anyway. So the nurse practitioner is asking me all these questions, and like, when did this first happen? When you first diagnosed, etc., etc. I don't have exact dates. And I'm thinking, they have it all in my chart. All this information is in my chart. Why are you asking me these questions that are in my chart? I even said, I'm sorry that I don't have exact dates, but I have an order for this, and also it's in my chart. And she was saying she needed to do it for her history. And I mentioned I have memory issues, so make it make sense, folks. Make it make sense. But anyway, she does basic tests, have to squeeze her hand, look, follow her fingers with my eyes. Took my mask off briefly, smiled, furrowed my brows, all random stuff. And then she went and said she'd get the doctor, and then I waited maybe another 10 minutes. The doctor comes, the doctor is straight to the point, all business. She re-explained to me what a DVA was, though I already knew. And but bit my tongue, I'm not gonna tell her, I already know, lady. And then she showed me the imaging that I had done in August. I really like seeing my brain and everything on screen. That's the coolest thing ever. I'm into that kind of stuff. And asked me why the neurologist thought it was of concern. I told her that the neurologist said she was concerned about the size of the DVA. But she said, somebody had a birth, It's nothing to worry about. You don't need surgery or anything. Thank the universe. Thank the universe, because I'm so damn tired of all these different appointments for this or that or the other, and all the paperwork and this and that. It's so tiresome, folks. It is tiresome. Speaking of sweet treats during the holidays, it's been an experience sticking to my diet as much as possible when, as I mentioned earlier, most of the food served during the holidays is sweets, treats, and junk. And I work at a place where they're always having some kind of free food or lunch or this, that, or the other. There's free pizza in the kitchen, folks. Mary Jane running cookies, etc., etc. And sticking to my diet, that is my goal, folks. And I've done that. When they say they're chocolates, I'll say I'll get some later, and I don't. That's my go-to. That keeps them from prying and pressing. I say I'll get some later. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Someone had ordered a chocolate platter. There's a chocolate platter in the area where we work. I said, thanks for the heads up. I'll get some later. Didn't get any. I am determined to stick to my diet. I am determined. Eating more vegetables, eating beans, whole grain foods, more, as I mentioned, more vegetables, sticking to a healthier diet as much as possible. And I still eat sweets, but I eat modified sweets that are safe for diabetics. I have made, as I mentioned in a previous video, I made brownies out of black beans with unsweetened cocoa powder and other ingredients. And I recently made a very basic peanut butter chocolate chip cookie that uses stevia Splenda and sugar-free chocolate chips, natural peanut butter, an egg, and vanilla extract. Really simple to make. And those were really good. Honestly, I was worried that they wouldn't taste the same because of sugar-free chocolate chips, but it tasted like a regular peanut butter chocolate chip cookie. Color me surprised. But the thing of concern was that my job treated us to lunch at a restaurant for the holidays. And I'm told, and it was on my scheduled day, work from home day. And I'm told I need to come to the office. It's mandatory. Whatever. But anyway, so I'm jumping ahead. So on the way there, and I'm not really into forced group events. I'm not. It's not them, it's me. It's not them, it is me. I prefer to spend my lunch alone, by myself, doing my own thing. But anyway, it was time to go, and everyone's going to meet in the lobby. I'm putting my coat on, and one of the managers asked me, Deanna, are you coming? I said, yes. I'm putting my coat, I'm thinking in my head, I'm putting my coat on. What do you think? When I feel overwhelmed, I get in my head, I daydream, I space out. So I started doing, after she asked me if I was coming, I started singing the refrain of the message. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. Anyway, so I'm downstairs in the lobby first, wanting to get it all over with. And I'm waiting for a few minutes, and I hear them say, where's Deanna? I'm worried about her. I didn't see her. Or maybe she went without us. And I'm wondering if they, imagine them, they say, well, she doesn't want to hang out with us anyway. Imagine if they said something like that. It would have been funny. I would have said, or just like talked about me, not realizing I was there. But they saw me, they're like, oh, there she is. No one said anything bad about me. So we all walk en masse to the restaurant. And I'm spaced out, mentally checked out, daydreaming in my head. And I was taking photos and videos. And all of a sudden, someone joined the group. Hi, And I was in a daze, so I'm like this at first. Then she waves again. I said, "Oh, hi." And normally I'm a fast walker, but because I'm behind, I'm at the back of the line, and I'm walking behind two older gentlemen who are a little slower. And they kept looking back like they wanted me to join the group, but I kept my own head. I'm doing my own thing like this. Headphones on, glasses turned to sunglasses. I was in a zone. So there's this older white guy, not part of the group, and he's behind me. And outside of work mode, me came out. I said, "Sir, you grunting like that is not going to make me move any faster." And the two guys in front of me were like, and I realized, oh, I'm on mixed company. Gotta watch my tone. Goodness. And he said, and the old guy said, "Pardon?" I said, "Never mind." But if I weren't around people from work, I would have stood my ground. I can't stand when they do something like, "Pardon, excuse me." They try to make it like it's my problem. I can't, if you need to get around me, use your words. Say, "Excuse me," pass by me. Don't, I swear. So most of the group had crossed a light. The older gentleman and I got stuck at the light. So I crossed to the other side of the street and waited to cross on the other side of the street where on the side of the restaurant was. And then when the light changed, I was back at my own pace, walking faster. And I got to the restaurant first. Because I'm not walking in a clump. That's why. And we get there. And they had us like squeezed in this one corner. It's a beautiful space. It's called Milk and Honey. It's a beautiful space, but I didn't like where they had us seated. And I could tell that my boss's boss wanted us to sit elsewhere, but she didn't push it. But I could tell she wanted to sit elsewhere because we clumped together in this like corner, and there's no room, and the server keep reaching over everybody and whatnot. It was so uncomfortable. That's why that's the part I did not like. And especially me not liking being around a bunch of people if things closed in. And to help get me through the lunch, I was looking at my phone. I took my headphones off. I was looking at my phone playing word games. I would look up and respond to the server. "Can I have this, please? Thank you. I appreciate it." Someone asked me a question, I'd answer, and I'd go back to playing on my phone. As I said, it's not them, it's me. Even though there's some people in the group I don't like, I won't say who. It's a me thing. It's not a them thing. But they served as an appetizer biscuits, and I thought I can have one biscuit. It's just a biscuit. I'm going to eat vegetables for my main lunch, so I'm not worried about anything happening. I'm not worried about carbs. It shouldn't affect me too much. The biscuit was doused in butter. It was so delicious, but it was doused in butter, and I think that spiked my heart rate because I got my Fitbit. I'm not wearing it now. My Fitbit was buzzing, and it said that my resting heart rate had elevated really high. I have never got a notification like that before. That freaked me out, and I had been seated for at least 10 minutes. That was worrisome. I didn't put any of the mango. I think it was mango butter, and they had a brown sugar butter. I didn't put either of that. I ate the biscuit on its own, but I didn't realize it's gonna be doused in butter. And I've not had anything with like butter or anything like that in ages. So that may have caused my elevated heart rate. And also said could be stress. I mean, as I said, I don't like group settings. I prefer one-on-one things, and even though I was sitting and being calm, maybe there was underlying stress from that. Who knows? The biscuit was delicious, But unfortunately, I can't have that again if it's going to spike my heart rate like that. So then we were served our main lunches. Most people got things like cornbread crusted catfish, and someone had shrimp and grits. And I had what was called the Power Bowl, which is vegetables. It was cauliflower, kale, mushrooms, avocado. It came with some slices of toast. And I think that too, even though it was mostly vegetables and avocado is good fats, that also had tastes like heavy butter on it as well. And that, but it was really good, seasoned nicely, and I loved it. And it was really good, but it's just the heavy seasonings and the heavy butter don't go with my diet. And no one asked me why I ate vegetables or why everyone else either had a meat or a fish. No one asked me. That's a good thing, because what I eat is none of their business. And why I'm eating certain things, it's none of their business. But at the end, they asked me how I liked it. I said, it's good. And they said, well, I didn't want to get it at first because it didn't sound good, but I'm going to get it next time. Good. Yay for healthy choices. And the thing is, this is the thing I had to deal with being a diabetic, type 2 diabetic with high blood pressure and high cholesterol. When I saw my aunt the day after Thanksgiving, when I was talking about my health issues, I was saying it's one thing if I only had one or the other, but I have all three. All three, really? Talking about my, there are a lot of things I can't eat because of all this. But it sucks because it was a nice restaurant. The service was great. The very, very friendly environment. But I can't go there again because the food is just not, even the vegetable plate I had, it's not good for my diet. It sucks. And I would have had the cornbread crusted catfish pre-diagnosis. I would have had anything that they all had, but health first. And at the end, they were all waiting for me to come. I said, go ahead without me, go on. I was reclaiming my time temporarily, though I had to go back to the office. They could all walk together in a clump, but I need to be by myself. I'm taking pictures of the beautiful artwork that the restaurant had. And the guy at the bar, I'm not sure if he was the owner. I'm not sure who he was, but he was acting like the owner. And he said, it's a good stocking stuff and get it for Christmas. And I said, I work on a nonprofit. I don't have money like that. It's beautiful though. The painting, one painting was $3,500. That's more than I make pre and after taxes. Oh, I do not have money like that. Goodness. But even though I can't eat there regularly because, as I said, my health issues, I do recommend it for anyone who does not have health or dietary issues that they have to worry about. I do recommend it for people to go to if you have no health issues to at all. But I reclaimed my time, and after I left the restaurant, I walked back on my own. I took photos, and I cleared my head, and I reclaimed my time for myself. But yeah, and that's another thing too, like, because the neurologist was saying I need to lower my stress. Good luck with that. I've been on break, but today has been the most stressful day, I swear. I had to go to a brick and mortar store. If I had a choice, I would not have, and I regret that I did. I thought about doing another video about that, but not tonight. So I don't have to follow up with the neurologist again, don't have to follow up with the neurosurgeon again. I am through with that part of my health. I am through. Thank the universe. And I'm so glad that I've gotten 2 bits of good news this month. But I have one more appointment to go, folks. The eye doctor. That's on Wednesday. So I will be back in a few days with that update. Hey everybody, I'm back with my second half of this update, health update for December 2025. Today I had my eye appointment, and I had scheduled this either early this month or sometime last month. I don't recall when, but what I do remember is that the woman I had spoken with had said that my usual eye doctor may be in the office in December, but they were not sure. But they would schedule my appointment anyway. So a week or two later, I get a call, sounded like maybe the same woman, and she's telling me that my eye doctor would not be in that location in December, which I prefer because it's close to home, but she is in other locations. They're mentioning Fairfax, Vienna. That's far. And I was saying how she's been the one working with me regarding the spot on my eye and getting follow-ups with retinal specialists about that. So she's familiar with my eye history. So the woman tells me that they're not going to cancel my appointments, but they're going to keep it on the schedule just in case. Maybe she'll change her location. Weirdness. Fine. Oh, no. Actually, no. I remember now. I tell you, my memory's all over the place, people. Oh, I remember what happened now. I was going to call and reschedule. Okay. They called me. I was going to reschedule, but I had logged off my work computer. I was not logging back on, so I couldn't check my schedule. And I told them I'd contact them back and see my availability. So I called the next day. I don't like calling when I'm in the office, but got to get this appointment scheduled and set in stone. And a guy answers the phone, and he's telling me that the doctor, she doesn't work in the location that's close to me. She doesn't work there as often. And if I want to see her, I need to either go to a different location. And as I said, I don't want to go to another location. I go to this one because it's convenient to home. And he's trying to tell me, he mentioned a male doctor, or so I thought. I'm pretty certain I heard him say he. And I told him that I prefer to see female doctors whenever possible. I don't feel comfortable seeing a male doctor. And then he's saying, Dr. So-and-so, she is really, I said, wait a minute, she? I thought you said he. Okay, if it's a woman then, I'm fine. Okay, cool. Okay. So I kept the appointment date with the different doctor. And a thing I noticed that when this certain woman calls me, she never says where she's calling from, or she'll say, you have an eye appointment. Never confirms she's talking with me. For all she knows, I could be an imposter pretending to be me. Yes, my evil plan to pretend to be Ms. Howard is working. Ha 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 ha. And there are some people, I will do this. Do you need to know my name? Do you need to see my ID? Do you need my date of birth? Do you need to confirm any information? I would do that with them sometimes, but with her, I just want to get the interaction over with. Oh, Lord. Because I find that they're not, front desk staff, they're not on the ball as they used to be. And it's a lot of it is due to being overworked, trying to do multiple things at once, and that contributes to that. But anyway, I'm digressing. And she called back yesterday to confirm that I'm still coming to today's appointment. Yes, I'll be there. Today comes. And when I get there, a woman who I thought was a patient said, "Hi, how you doing to me?" I said, "Hi." And I go to check in. There are two women. There's one at a back desk and one sitting in the try-on area. And the one, I'm trying to remember which one helped me. I think it was the one at the try-on area checked me in. I gave my information. And then she gives me paperwork. And when I finished filling out the paperwork, she was busy helping another patient with glasses. So then the woman who's at the desk, who had stepped away to grab lunch for a moment, she took my paperwork and she did the basic eye test, the glaucoma test, looking at that farmhouse off in the distance, that one. It was And another thing I noticed about her after this interaction, she was coughing and hacking a lot, not wearing a mask, not using hand sanitizer. There was a lot of and then she would touch a phone or a pen or something. No, 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 no. And people wonder why I still wear masks. I still wear a mask because I'm not trying to get sick off these fools. And people don't care. They'll cough and they hack and they don't wash their hands. They don't use hand sanitizer. They just go around like it's business as usual. Have we not learned? Well, I've learned. So let me repeat myself. Have they not learned from these past almost 6 years? Apparently not. But I'll get back to that in a moment. So I do the basic test, and the person who I thought was another patient was the eye doctor. She was just so casual. She's wearing a cruise, like a cable knit sweater, maybe a cream colored sweater, and maroon pants, and she looked very casual. I'm used to the other eye doctor having a lab coat on, so it threw me off for a moment. So I didn't realize that the eye doctor was the one saying hi to me when I walked in. And she was coming from inside, coming from outside, so that also threw me off too. And while I was waiting to see her, and the other people are coming in to be helped for glasses, they were going on about, oh, I really want these, but these are so expensive. And even with my insurance, it costs that much. That's why I don't get glasses from the eye doctor anymore, because they cost so much, even with all the discounts. It's ridiculous. The discounts, let me put that in quotes, because they don't feel like discounts. It's expensive. It's ridiculous. And I see, and you know another thing I noticed? I did not have to do the retinal imaging, because usually they have me on this machine, and there's the eye hole, and they wipe it with rubbing alcohol. You know, I don't know whose crusty eyes been on that thing, but anyway. Now I have to push my eye against it. Look this way, Miss Howard. Put yourself closer, Miss Howard. Okay, look up this way, Miss Howard. It's going to take a second. Lord have mercy. I didn't have to do that. I was wondering why. I come to find out that the machine was down. Because I was wondering, they didn't put me on that daggone thing to get the retinal imaging like they usually do. And they told me I need to come back to do that in the future. The appointment will get made when it gets made, because I've had nearly a week and a half off from work, and I'm not going to be able to take time off of that anytime soon for this eye appointment, this retinal imaging. So it'll get done when it gets done. So the eye doctor, she said she's seen me before. I do not remember her. I remember there's the one I usually see, and there was a different woman I'd seen. It's not her. But she claims that I've seen her before. I'm usually good. You know, my memory is not the best, but I'm usually good with remembering people that I've interacted with. How can I not remember people? Because they have their quirks and idiosyncrasies that are hard to forget sometimes. But anyway. And I noticed there wasn't too many. Miss Howard, you need to push your head close. Make sure your forehead is on there. When your chin, not much of that. Surprise, surprise. And the usual, which one is clearer? 1 or 2? Same. 3 or 4? 4. How about 5 or 6? 5. Man, I wish there were a better way to do eye exams, because sometimes a lot of them look the same. When they change the lenses and make them clearer or make them blurrier, it's hard. Sometimes I don't see much of a difference. And I had mentioned I was diagnosed as being diabetic, and I did mention that I did have some vision issues when I first started taking metformin. And she ended up dilating my pupils. I was thinking, please don't let me get my pupils dilated the last day of the year, please. But it happened, folks. They had to be dilated so she can do a further look. And she was saying she didn't see any changes related to being diabetic. Whew. I mentioned my recent A1C reading, which was lower than my the one when I was diagnosed as being diabetic. And she's saying keep doing what I'm doing, and but if anything changes, let either them or the retinal specialist know, and they'll work with me. But so far, other than those random times where my vision temporarily went blurry, my vision's been pretty decent. And I said I was not getting glasses today. As I said, I'm not spending all that money on glasses when I get multiple pairs from Zenni for less than what they cost for one pair at the eye doctor. And another woman came in too saying the same thing. Oh, this is expensive. It is. And I work at a nonprofit. I don't have money like that to spend on one pair of glasses. I noticed that the second woman who came in for glasses, I overheard her saying her prescription was expiring in February. Man, you might as well wait until February, get an eye exam, get a new prescription, and then get glasses then, because it's only gonna be good for 2 months. Especially if your prescription may have changed since in the past year. Anyway, not my problem. Whew. So when I went to check out, get a copy of my prescription, and make sure I got my pupillary distance. People can do it themselves, but I'd rather have someone else do it. And I told the woman who was coughing and hacking, can you please use hand sanitizer? And people are so shocked when I say things like this, when I speak up for stuff like this. Like I mentioned in the first half of this health update, how I was saying to a guy, him grunting and making throat noises wasn't going to make me move any faster. People are so shocked that I break the facade of politeness. I cut through all that BS. I let people know, this is what you're doing. You need to stop it. I don't smile and act polite when something like that is going on. And it shocks people. Like one time my mother and I were walking together, and there's a guy looking at his phone, and he's about to walk into me. So I said, look up, watch where you're going. And he cursed at me under his breath. She didn't hear it, but she looked shocked that I said anything to this guy. And I said, he's about to walk into me, and kept walking. I know she does not like it when I do that. She does not like it. A lot of people don't. And in the general sense, people don't like it when someone who they perceive as younger, I'm turning 45 in 2026, so I'm not as young as people think. They perceive me as younger. I'm shorter, I'm a woman, I'm Black, and those things make them think, oh, how dare she tell me what to do? And how dare she set a boundary? It makes people so uncomfortable, but let them be uncomfortable. I'm putting my comfort first. And I asked the woman at the desk could you please use hand sanitizer? Because I've seen her coughing and hacking, and she did not once sanitize her hands or do anything. Not wearing a mask either. And she said, oh, okay. But you can put a credit card in the machine yourself. Okay, fine. Because I didn't want to touch my credit card. I did not want that happening at all, man. And because I only got the eye exam, and I didn't get the retinal imaging at that time, it was only $10. Thank the universe. Now there we go. But I think it's ridiculous how eyes aren't part of vision. Aren't a part of vision. Why is vision insurance separate from medical insurance? Eyes are a part of the body, and same thing with dental. Teeth are part of the body. Insurances cover everything from head to toe. But make it make sense. This system is the health insurance system is so ridiculous. I swear. But yeah. And she didn't normally measure my pupillary distance and charge me, but she just wrote it down from the records and gave me the prescription. The doctor printed the prescription, signed off on it. Then the woman at the desk, she wrote the pupillary distance on it. So now next year comes around and I need new glasses, I can get them from Zenni. And so far, Zenni has been good. You know, people say, you shouldn't use those discount places. You need to get them from the eye doctor. I have never had an issue with Zenni glasses. My Zenni glasses have been really good. That's plastic. There we go. Knock on wood, it stays that way. trying to see behind my back. I'm looking forward. Can't see behind. Well, now I turn my head. Anyway. So that's it. Good eye news to end 2025 health updates with. So I'm glad that in these past few days, I'm finally getting some good health news. My goodness gracious, because it was coming at me like, goodness gracious, I have this, I have that, and you need to do this, you need to do that. Excuse me. Yeah, it's like, finally some good health news. So my next appointment so far is with the new primary care doctor in February. So when that time rolls around, I will post an update about that. And if anything else pops up between now and then, I will post updates about that as well. So I can finally close out these health updates for 2025. If you've liked this video and you want to hear more from me, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Take care, folks. Have a good night and Happy New Year to you.